Hi, I'm Evan. Just to give you a little context for this lesson, we're doing a life cycle unit in science, and we're combining it with some reading and writing, some note-taking, and some research skills. We got the laptop cart in the classroom for this lesson, so the kids will be doing some independent research, and I gave them a little note catcher to take some notes and work on synthesizing, paraphrasing, determining importance in a text, and then while they're working, I'll pull a small group to do some guided reading, practice some in-depth note-taking skills, and talk about one animal in particular so they can be an expert on that, and then later they'll go and share that. Every kid will be an expert on a different animal, and then they'll go and share that in a group and teach their classmates about it. So you'll see the kids are pretty proficient on the computers because we've been doing a lot of that this year, and I'm learning a lot more about the technology standards now that I've heard about this job opportunity, so familiarizing myself with those, and really excited, so hope you like it. Thanks. Alright, so we've been learning about life cycles, different types of animals, and different changes they go through in their lives. We're learning about the different animal groups, the classifications, birds and mammals and reptiles and things like that. Today I'm going to give you the opportunity to do a little bit of your own research. Okay? So we're going to go on to two websites that we know pretty well. Yep, we're going to pop in PebbleGo. A ton of information. So you go to the Godsman Computer Lab website. I always go here. I go to Tumble Books. That's not what we're going to. And then you go right here. Right here is BrainPop and PebbleGo. BrainPop Junior has some information, but the regular BrainPop has a little bit more. So you can do either one. Okay. I'll write the password you should know at DPS Godsman and DPS BrainPop. Okay. So PebbleGo, click Animals, and then you can click any of these really. They've got reptiles, birds, mammals, invertebrates, classification, insects, fish, and amphibians. Pretty much all the things we've been talking about. Okay? You can click and you can watch the videos and learn all about it. But here's the thing. As a good researcher, it's impossible to remember everything that you learn. So we take notes. So I've got for you here just a little note catcher. It says life cycle notes, and then it's got the different categories: invertebrates, mammals, birds, reptiles, amphibians, and fish. Okay? So I want you to be taking notes on things that you're learning. Okay? Now, when we take notes, you're not writing everything that you see, and you're not copying. You have to write it in your own words. Okay? It's called synthesizing. Okay? Or it's called paraphrasing. I say synthesizing.
Synthesizing.
Say paraphrasing.
Paraphrasing.
All right, so we'll watch one. I'm just going to show you what I mean. Let's just start here with amphibians. Well, you can start with this one. And then you can read it or play it.
Newts are amphibians. Newts are about 3 to 5.5 inches, 8 to 14 centimeters long. They have tails for swimming and legs for walking.
Cool. So now I'm not going to write all of those things. I'm going to make sure that I'm under my amphibians category here on the back. You don't have to go in order. Okay? And I think it's cool that they have tails for swimming and legs for walking. You can see in this picture, his tail is like a lizard, but it's like wider. So you can tell that he kind of swims with it, which is pretty neat. So I'm just writing newts. And I'm not even going to write a complete sentence. I'm just going to write newts dash tails to swim, legs to walk. Okay? And I will remember what that means. You don't need, when you take notes, you don't need a complete sentence. You just want to jot down only the words that are necessary for you to remember what it is that you learned. Okay? So I don't want to write, newts are amphibians. Newts have tails for swimming and legs for walking. That's too much. And plus, that's plagiarism, that's copying, because it's already been written by someone else. I'm writing my own notes. Okay? I want you to see today if you can come up with at least 3 pieces of information for each category. Okay? Invertebrates, mammals, birds, reptiles, amphibians, fish. Like I said, you don't have to go in order. You can do any of them. Okay, but you're going to have about maybe 45 minutes or so to work. Should be plenty of time if you're working hard to come up with at least a few facts for each category. Okay? Then at the end we're going to share what we learned, and then you might even be able to learn something from someone else. If you don't have time to watch some of the videos that you wanted to, maybe you can learn a little bit from them. Okay? Any questions? All right. You can do as many animals as you want. So under the amphibians category, there was frogs, newts, salamanders, other things. Okay, you can do one if you really like that one, or you can do a couple. Doesn't matter, up to you. Just make sure you get a few from each animal group. Daniel.
Like if you learn something from the band, like you watch a video, you can like write it down.
Of course, absolutely. Name?
For the vertebrate section, what are we supposed to do? Name the animals or like what the articles?
I don't just want you to list the animals, I want you to write information. Okay, so you could write the names of them, but then you need to write like a fact about them. I don't just want it to say starfish, insects, crabs. Okay, don't just list it. Write down a fact that you learned about that animal. Amen?
The word bud, and we go on Televo, Raindrop, I think about people in Telebooks, and just do like 3 things.
No, probably not. It's just kind of a research time. So what I would suggest is you do a couple videos on PebbleGo, a couple videos on BrainPop, and then see what you have time for. Try to do a little bit of each one, and then if you have extra time at the end, then you can go further into an animal that you really like. Okay? Alright? So this is going to be a level 1 if you like need help on the computer, or have a question or something, you may ask someone near you for help, but you should be working independently, taking your own notes, okay? And it needs to be real quiet because I'm going to be working with a group over here. We're going to be learning about one animal in specific, and then I'm going to, over the next couple of days, I'm going to have everybody in a group and we're going to become experts on one animal, and then you're going to share that information with your group, like we've done this before. So, so level 1, and I can't really help you because I'm going to be with a group. So try to solve the problem by yourself, or ask somebody near you quietly for help. Yeah? Any questions? Okay. So I will pass out these papers, and then I'll bring the Chromebooks to your desk. And then after you work for a little bit, I'll call some of you to come read with me. Okay.
Jellyfish are invertebrates that live in the ocean. Jellyfish have no bones. Their insides are covered by a soft brown coat. They have 4 bones.
Okay, what's that? What's that? Oh, cool.
They glow.
They glow?
Yeah.
How?
See, look, it's up where you can go to the ground and look at the jellyfish.
I know, but how do they glow? Does it say?
No.
I wonder if it's in there.
Whoa. That's a weird one.
Jellyfish are found in all animals.
So I do animals.
Mhm.
So I can do every single one of them.
Oh, so you searched for animals? Smart.
I want to do a penguin.
Now we're going to read this real quick and then we'll go. Alright, we're going to highlighter. Choose your weapon.
This one. The big one.
Alright. So let's just kind of all read together this first part. Okay? The left side can be categorized into three main periods: the baby, the adolescent, and the adult. Like humans, each stage lasts for an extended period of time, and the very distinct developmental milestones characterize each level of maturity. Okay, so what I'm seeing right away as I read, I'm looking for important things. I see that it says can be categorized into three main periods. What are the three main periods? Tell me what.
The baby. The adolescent.
Adolescent.
Adult.
And adult. So what do you think adolescent means? Baby, adolescent, adult. What do you think it means? Toddler? Okay, that's a good guess because it's after baby. What do you think?
Adult.
Okay.
Teenager.
What do you think, like teenager? That's what you agree with this either? Yeah, it's kind of like you're growing up. It's somewhere between a kid and a teenager, kind of. So I'm gonna highlight that. Baby, adolescent, and adult, and then I'm gonna put a little note with my pencil, just in case I forget that adolescent means like teenager. I'm gonna kind of write that next to it. I'll use pencil so it's easier to read. I put teenager.
Can you put the teen?
Teen is fine as long as you're gonna remember this. This is your notes. This is your article. So whatever you need to do to remember it. Okay. And then that last sentence, it says each stage lasts for an extended period of time, and there's milestones. So like milestones are like something happens, and then you know it's going into the next stage.
Right.
So, well, you'll see what it means in a minute. So, Sinai, can you read this next paragraph for us?
Sure. The baby stage lasts from birth until an elephant has been weaned off his mother milk completely. This can be anywhere between 5 and 10 years of age. Being weaned means that the cow no longer drinks milk from its mother, but is able to live only on solid vegetation. For the first 3 to 5 years, almost elephants calves. Okay, so these are like chickens. Okay, calves are totally grafted on their mothers for their natural
nutrition, hygiene, migration, and health. Okay, so let's stop there. You're right. There's a lot of tricky words in there. Okay, so let's go back. I'm rereading. It says, lasts from birth until the elephant has been weaned off its mother's milk. Does anybody know what weaned means? Or think of that sentence, weaned off of its mother's milk. What do you think it means? Nursing? Yep, kind of. What do you think?
I think it stops getting milk.
Yeah, so it's nursing when it's a baby, but then when it's weaned off of its mother's milk, that means when it stops needing its mom for milk. Because then later it said, look, it says being weaned means that the calf no longer drinks milk from its mother, but it lives on solid vegetation. What do you think vegetation is? Look at like what's in that word. Yeah. What do elephants eat? What do elephants eat? Grass, leaves, trees, bushes, things like that. Peanuts. They don't eat meat though. Are they carnivores or herbivores? Herbivores. So vegetation means like vegetables. It means like leaves and trees and things. So this is your article, so you can highlight what you think is important. I'm gonna highlight.
I'm gonna highlight weeds.
Yeah, weaned is an important word. It's a good one. And how old are they when this happens?
Oh, 5 to 10, at 5 and 10.
Yeah, between 5 and 10 years. So when an elephant, think about that. Baby humans only drink their mother's milk for like a year. Or something. I don't know. Yeah. Elephants up to the 10 years. 10. You guys are between 5 and 10. If you were an elephant, you would still be drinking your mother's milk.
No, that's probably why elephants are kind of big.
Because maybe because it gets so big and strong.
Oh, right here's the right.
Alright, so then I'm going to have it. It says means being weaned means the calf no longer drinks
Milk from its mother.
milk from its mother. Okay.
Where is it?
What do you think? It's right here. It says it means that it no longer drinks milk from its mother. Solid vegetation.
I think that we should highlight
Oh, this one, your calves? What's a calf?
oh, maybe it's a baby elephant?
Think
Yes,
so?
it's an elephant.
Absolutely. It says most elephant calves are totally dependent on their mothers for nutrition, hygiene, and migration for 3 to 5 years. So for the first 3 to 5 years, up until they're about 5 years old, they need their mothers for everything. They have to stay with them. They need them for hygiene, means like cleaning themselves with water or whatever they do. Nutrition is the things that they're eating and staying healthy. So yes, you're quiet.
I think that when elephants I think they stay with their mom forever. Because in some videos I see elephants in giant herds
Yeah.
and humans.
Absolutely, they do stay together in their families. You're right. Yes.
And so for a baby elephant to not get lost, they hold each other's tail.
Yeah.
Oh,
They jump.
that's right.
Yes.
Dependent? Let me know what dependent means. You know?
I think it's the opposite of independent.
It is the opposite of independent. So what do you think? It's the opposite of independent.
Not independent.
What does independent mean?
By myself.
Yeah, by yourself.
2 years? Yeah.
Okay. Oh, what was that one?
Another one that for 2 years.
Pregnant for 2 years. Yeah, that's a
Pregnancy
really
for 2 years.
good. Write that down.
Can we put gestation?
You can put that as long as you're going to remember what it means. You might want to put pregnancy because if you look at this tomorrow, you might have forgotten what gestation
What does this mean? For 2 years. 2 years? What's this about? I don't remember writing this.
Anything else, Daniel, that you think is interesting about when they're a baby?
Oh, I know.
Yeah, I like how you're checking the article.
They stop nursing.
Did we get that already?
Yeah.
I think I already know that.
Yeah,
Yeah?
That they always like to have them.
Okay. Yeah, remember that? Remember that? What was that word that means they need their mother? No, it starts with a D.
Instant.
Was it? Dependent. They're dependent on their mothers? Yeah, that's a good one to write that down.
I was gonna say the word adolescent.
Adolescent?
Yeah, but that's gonna be
That's the next section.
being.
Good. Anything else?
And now we got everything like
And then, if you want, you don't have to, but sometimes I even draw a little sketch, because sometimes drawing helps us remember. So I'm going to draw kind of like a little mama elephant kind of teaching her baby how to use its trunk. It's okay, it's just a sketch. You don't have to, but I'm just going to kind of draw just a big elephant and a small elephant, because sometimes, yeah, doesn't matter. Sometimes drawing kind of helps you remember too. She's going to be, in my picture, she's going to be teaching. You can draw whatever you want to remember.
It's really hard to do.
I just kind of draw
too. I'm putting where she's teaching the little baby how to take a shower.
Yeah. I'm just writing with teaching because I might look at this drawing tomorrow and think I don't know what it is.
Oh, and also also how why we're like a bit different, a bit similar to the elephant. Like if we were born and we don't even know how to walk, we'll be like, what are these for? I cannot even know that.
Grab a computer, Zuri. Ask people at your table for help. Yeah, it's just teaching them how to do it. Good.
Me too.
All right, so we're gonna stop here. We'll finish this kind of long article. We'll do the rest of it maybe tomorrow. Yeah. How's it going? What have you learned so far?
We learned that crow does not have a backbone, sponges have no shape at all, so that doesn't mean, so that means that they don't have a backbone. Monterns are the only mammals that lay eggs.
Really? What is that? A montrum?
It looks like a platypus.
Oh, really? Huh. Interesting. I never knew that. Cool.
And then
Oh, and dolphins are mammals too. Yeah, a lot of people think dolphins are fish, don't they? Cool. Nice.
I like
Komodo dragons can actually eat any animal they can find
Really?
because their mouth is so, like, it can burn skin off. Like,
Wait, it's like poison or what?
no. It's either poison or it's either steam.
Steam? Well, what does it say? Look at what it says.
Oh, they're poisonous.
Oh, yeah. Good. See? Make sure you write that down. It's important. Okay. Boys and girls, I want you to just pause for a minute. We've got a few minutes left, but pause your videos or whatever so it's not making any noise. Eyes on me. 3, 2, 1, 0. Hands off the computers. Thank you. Okay. Thumbs up if you've written down at least 6 facts that you found. Okay. All right. So I want you. Listen. Hands down. I want you to share with your shoulder partner the 3 most interesting things that you've learned. Now, you don't have to just read your notes, but talk with them. Have a discussion. Say, one really interesting thing I learned about blank is blank, and then you might say, as a good listener, you might say, oh wow, I didn't know that. Can you tell me more about it? Or you might say, oh yeah, I learned about that one too. Did you know that they also, and you can add to it. Okay, so you could either ask a question about it or you could add to it depending on how much you know about it. Okay, Daniel, move your clip please. Alberto, move your clip please. Hands off the computers means good listening. Or should I say good listening means hands off the computers. Have a discussion. Tell them something, the 3 most interesting things that you've learned, and then as a good listener, follow up and say, ask another question about it, or tell them something else that you've learned. Okay, and then we'll have a few minutes after that to do a little more research. If your partner tells you something really interesting that you like, you can write it down on your own sheet. To remember, I want you to have at least a few facts for each category. Okay? So if you're missing some, maybe you can learn something from your partner and you can write that down. Okay? Alright, talk to your partner.
I know the mammals and black and white, and I know that, it all started with like the dinosaurs and the meteor shower. That's what I'm watching.
No, how do you spell nudes? N-E-W-D-S?
Newt.
Something that I learned about falcons, that their voice, it sounds different, like this. Whoa! Oh wait, this is a video. The voice is like. That is like a malfunction, but it's not. It actually sounds like this. Can we do this now?
Oh, that's their voice, their squawking sound. Cool. Which place? Where eagles are found?
Yeah. They're obviously in North America.
Well, look at all that yellow. They're all over the place.
Yeah, but where's the United States?
Right here, look at so North America.
So,
A little bit in South America.
So, Jonathan, they live from this part, like, up to this, and all of that, right here.
Oh, well, it's a little bit in Africa too, huh? I didn't know eagles lived in Africa. Like in the middle here?
Also, they live something right in Australia.
Mm-hmm.
And Russia.
Yeah, almost all over the world.
Just gotta go from here.
Okay, so we've got about 5 minutes left, and then we gotta wrap up. So if you have any spots on your notes that Danielle, move your clip, please. If you have any spots on your notes that are empty. All right, so it seemed that from what you guys were telling me, you guys seem like you learned a ton, which is great. Who wants to share something really interesting they learned? Thank you for these quiet hands. Esteban.
That seahorses can eat 3,000 shrimp a day.
A little seahorse, 3,000 shrimp in one day. Interesting. Jose?
No, I think you guys already know this. Anacondas could go up to 300 pounds and 6 centimeters.
Probably 6 meters. Yeah, 300 pounds for an anaconda. Dang. Oh my gosh, I'm so glad you have so much to share. Tell your shoulder partner something really interesting you learned. Eyes on me. 3, 2, 1, 0. Isaiah's crisscross. Thank you.